Call the Public Security Bureau right now. Tell them the guy who drove us here doesn't need to head back. Have him turn around and come pick someone up. A few minutes later, Chen Dali lowered his head and took a close look. Yep. That's Li Zhuang, the guy they were about to arrest. Didn't expect you to beat them to it. Get him to the hospital first. Have them check his injuries. Chen Dali frowned and added a warning. Then he walked up to you looking conflicted. He pointed at the bureau car on the roadside and said, "What are you standing there for? Get in. Come back to the bureau and help with the investigation. No, tell me the truth. Were you secretly watching that guy from noon? You can't arrest people like that. And he had a gun. That was way too risky. If he'd pulled it out, do you know what would have happened?" You scratched your head, embarrassed. "Captain Chen, I seriously put you through a lot." You said it awkwardly. Then you got back into the bureau car. Right then, your stomach growled at the worst possible time. Captain Chen, it's almost midnight, right? What time are we gonna be done taking my statement? You guys cover a late night snack or what? No need to go crazy. Just get me about 2 pounds of dumplings. Celery and pork would be perfect. Before you could keep talking, the cameraman next to you freaked out too. He called you out for only thinking about yourself. You're partners, after all. We need 5 more pounds of chive and egg dumplings. If we can't finish, we'll take it to go. Chen Dali turned around and looked at you two, and honestly didn't know what to say. After getting chewed out hard at the bureau again, you suddenly realized something serious. You're still in a competition. You can't keep arresting people like this. It's been a whole day, and you still haven't even made it past the school gate. Bro, after this, are we still hitting the road? The cameraman asked. Go to the hotel. It's too late tonight. I booked you to a hotel nearby. Tomorrow morning, we'll send someone to take you to the school gate. Before you could respond, Chen Dali cut in first. All right, traveling at night isn't realistic anyway. You're already 3 days behind. One more night won't kill you. You nodded and agreed. You packed up the remaining 2 pounds of dumplings and followed Chen Dali to a budget hotel near the bureau. After everything was settled, you rushed into the bathroom first. You took a nice hot shower, but when you came out, the cameraman was squatting by the door, holding a little card. He looked totally dead inside. What are you looking at? Sue, look, someone just slipped this in. The cameraman handed you the card. You glanced down. Good lord, it's all pixelated. This hotel is basically right next to the bureau, and people still shove these little cards under the door at night. Aren't they afraid of getting arrested? That takes some nerve. What's there to look at? You didn't even collect the reward money. You want me to call one for you or what? We're live streaming. That's not exactly appropriate. The cameraman's eyes lit up. Man to man, you know that look. It was exactly like the husky you used to have staring at the neighbor's female dog. Go handle it in the bathroom yourself. I'm going to sleep. You tossed the card into the trash, then turned and flopped onto the bed. The cameraman scratched his head awkward, grabbed the tissues off the nightstand and went into the bathroom. Just then there was a knock at the door. You got up and went over. You peeked through the peephole. Outside was a gorgeous woman in a short skirt. Her top was pulled down real low. Then the system prompt popped up. He's a man. You frowned. A guy? Is this some honey trap scam? Is he really delivering a bounty to me? You felt a rush of excitement. You reached out and opened the door. A wave of cheap perfume hit you in the face. Hey, handsome. Wanna relax? 300 and I'll make it worth your while. She fluttered her eyes at you. The body looked pretty good, but once you remembered the gender, your butt clenched. Hold on a sec. You shut the door and turned toward the TV. You used Dongzi's phone to text Captain Chen. Captain Chen, a guy's trying to screw me. Get here ASAP. You took a deep breath. But when you turned around, he was swaying his hips and walking over. So, little bro, how do you want to play? He pressed his red lips together and stared at you. That scene woke the live stream chat all the way up. People started howling and spamming comments. No way. I get to watch this for free? Shouldn't this be pay-per-view? Sue, this is live. And you still dare do this? My wife just fell asleep. I snuck into the bathroom. When does it start? I've got tissues ready. Sue, begin your performance. Wait, something's off. Is that really a woman? Bro, those feet are bigger than mine. Pretty soon people noticed something was wrong. Not only were the feet huge, you could kind of see an Adam's apple. That's a man. Everyone's heart jumped. They stared at the live stream camera, tense. Dongzi, hearing the commotion from the bathroom, ran out wrapped in a towel. He looked up and blinked hard. Then he started rubbing his hands, hyped. What did he see? A woman in a red miniskirt, tiny waist, long straight legs. Isn't it just one person? Wait, why are there 2 of you? That's extra. She looked at Dongzi coming out of the bathroom, and her expression went serious. You sidestepped and blocked her, smiling. Don't misunderstand. This one's for my buddy, right? Dongzi, I'm in the room next door. I've got another room. You guys have fun, I'm out. You walked out, and before you left, you gave Dongzi a look that said a lot. Then you ducked into the fire stairwell and watched the hallway through a crack. You silently started counting time in your head. If nothing goes wrong, within half an hour, a few big dudes should come out and start kicking doors. You just didn't know if Captain Chen saw the text. Where is he? Which room? Right then, a few hulking guys with Peppa Pig tattoos stomped out of the elevator, pissed. One of them looked down at his phone, pointed at room 406 and said quietly, "Boss, Rongrong's in this room for sure. The photo's this room." But the last message said it might be 2 people. One of them is next door. The middle-aged guy leading them nodded, waved it off. Handle this one first. Then drag the next door one over and deal with them together. Move fast! This place is close to the bureau. Take their phones first. If they make a sound, beat them and worry about it later. He glanced at a henchman. The guy grinned coldly. He stepped up and knocked. That woman opened the door. They swarmed in. Hiding in the stairwell, you could even hear Dongzi screaming. You remembered there were people in the next room. Before Captain Chen arrived, you had to warn them fast, so they wouldn't get dragged into this too. You carefully stepped out of the stairwell and went to room 407 next door. You knocked? When they opened the door, you saw a smoke-filled room. On the couch and the bed sat nearly 10 even nastier-looking brutes. You cut yourself off mid-sentence. Every one of them looked scarier than the honey trap crew from earlier. The system prompt said it. They're a wanted gang. A bounty went out a few hours ago, 10,000 per person. I'm room service. Did you guys call for something just now? The vibe was getting more and more awkward. You got an idea and asked timidly, did your toilet clog? No one expected it. But the big guy actually nodded. He stepped aside and let you in. You only said it casually, and it turned out to be true. You forced a smile and nodded to everyone, then gritted your teeth and went into the bathroom. You locked the door behind you. Every single one of them. They were all wanted criminals. You lowered your head and poked at the toilet, racking your brain on what to do now. With this many people, even if Captain Chen showed up, catching them all would be tough. And you didn't have a phone anymore. Even if you wanted help, you couldn't. You twisted the bathroom doorknob and walked out. You stood in the doorway. The room's chatter stopped instantly. Everyone looked up at you. The clog is really bad. Maintenance isn't here tonight. How about I tell the front desk to move you to a bigger room? On the house. No need, thanks. The middle-aged guy who opened the door earlier smiled and said it, then stood up to walk you out. Right then, someone knocked on the door. Was it that other crew circling back? You took a deep breath. You spun around and yanked the door open. You threw a kick. One brute at the door got launched onto the floor. You think you can swing on us? Get him! The honey trap crew's leader roared and charged in after you. Rong even locked the door behind them. But the moment he turned around, his face went dead pale. Inside were 10 big guys all staring at them with dark faces, and at each of their feet was a huge duffel bag. Who the hell are you? One of the wanted guys stood up and asked coldly. Boss, it's all a misunderstanding. Didn't you order the service? We just came to check how the service was, and if you're having fun. His mouth twitched. He jumped up and slapped him hard. He bared his teeth and cursed. Honey trap, huh? You want money, huh? You didn't even check how many people I've got. And you still want to play games? With everyone staring in shock, you kicked open a duffel bag.